Okay, so we are live. Hi everyone. I hope the lighting is clear. Hello. Thank you for joining. So just waiting for Aravind to join us. So that we can get started. So we'll be talking to Arvind. He's an author. We'll be talking about his journey and how he wrote his book, which is a short story. How he wrote his book, how he came up with the idea, and we'll be talking a lot about his author journey basically. Hi Arvind. Let me just quickly add you. I hope you like Tiki Guy. I haven't read it, but I've heard a lot of good reviews about that book.
Hello,
Hi
brother.
Arvind, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine. All okay.
Great. Sorry, the lighting is a bit off today for some reason.
Yeah, I
Uh,
also have my share of apologies to do. Sorry that we are starting late.
no, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. So, first of all, it's a great pleasure in having this conversation with you. And also, I like to thank Bookers Diary and also the rest of the Bookers Gram community because you guys are doing a fantastic job, really. Because it's one thing to write stories and encourage people to read, but it's a different thing to promote writers and promote good books because we need people like you, man. Really, you're doing fantastic job, and
Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank you
this
so
is
much. That's
my
really nice to hear.
okay. This is my first interview in the real life that I guess won't hopefully end with we will contact you later. All we had all those share of interviews. Yeah,
No,
hopefully
definitely
people
not.
will like me in this interview.
Based on how much conversation we've had, I'm sure everybody's gonna like you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my video is okay, right?
Yes. Could you just tilt your camera a little bit? It's like landscaping right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Yeah, okay. So shall we start, right?
Yes, let's start off. So, before we do, actually, let me introduce everybody to Arvind. So basically, Arvind has recently written his first book. Before this, he used to write a lot of poems. He's a lyricist as well. So I hope he has something for us today. some poem which he can recite for us later. So this is his first book, and what I like the most about this book is that one, it's a very quick read. The second, and more importantly, the second part, which is that this book has been written from a very different perspective. Most of the time, you read books either from a victim's perspective or from a hero's perspective. This book has been written from the perspective of the, I won't really say bad guy now that I know that perspective. I don't want to use the word bad guy anymore, but somebody who has, uh, you know, uh, who was the one who, uh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a
Uh,
normal person, I would say.
yeah, normal person. So, for lack of a better term, let's say the bad guy. So, let's start with the first thing. When did you decide to start writing, and what was the first piece of a piece that you wrote?
Okay, so basically, I think it started off in the school days because I
Hmm.
owed to my introvertedness that I found this beautiful art to say. We had this particular library period in the class in every school, and you can bet that I was the only guy who was excited to have that library period. So
Okay.
library that period was that was the time when I had the pleasure of reading that Enid Blyton stories, famous five, secret seven, those kind of
Right,
books.
right, right.
Yeah, and that was also the place where I actually got to meet Sherlock Holmes. The hero for most
Oh,
of our writers in the school days.
interesting.
So I used to be that guy who would be like somewhere in the corner doing a PT period, reading a book. And every time, when when we are waiting for the next teacher to come, I would be the only guy, having my hands on my desk and having a book underneath and reading some book. So I guess it started off like in sixth, yeah, eighth standard maybe, as far as I remember. And
Wow.
since I was an introvert, I didn't have much time in talking to real friends. So I
Hmm.
used to, keep gazing at the, gazing out of the window, and I used to, have this weird thoughts like something inanimate or stationary object like school bell. It evokes feeling in us because when the first bell ring, we feel irritated, we feel frustrated, and when the last bell ring, we used to be like we used to very overwhelmed with joy, waiting for that 5 p.m. Power Rangers series. I guess those were the times.
Yeah,
Man. So these were the thoughts that I was processing in my head. First thing to say that I actually started off with English basically. uh, I used to write poems with that, I know that basic rhyme scheme structure like near, fear, there, here, those
right.
kind of rhyme scheme, those childish days. And like every time I give a piece to my friends, they used to see it and they used to be amazed at the idea that I've dealt in that. And specifically, they used to wonder at bro, how are you pulling these birds and making them rhyme? So
Right.
in their eyes, I was like that, magician. Like how is he pulled off that trick? So I guess I want that feeling of amazement. I saw the feeling that they got while reading my poem. I guess I want it all through my life, and basically that's why I started writing, and that's why I decided to write. And first of all, we like every writers like me would watch for this because writing, pen and paper won't judge you. You can
Right.
you can literally share everything and anything to it, and it was my kind of therapy. With whatever I think about, I used to share it on the page. And I used to, and then also I used to only share it to a small circle of friends. I don't used to.
Okay.
So then first piece you would say, actually I would have three answers for that, because I have tried everything, man. I have tried everything so far. I've written a poem, I've written a novel, I've like you said, I have written lyrics, and also I have written many essays in Tamil. So
Okay.
first poem was, it was, I guess I remember the title was called Live Your Life. I guess it was when I look at the latest English poem that I wrote and compare it with that poem, I can literally see my growth, like a curve, So
Right. Right.
that's something
Right.
and that's very proud of it. And the next is a novel. I wrote my first novel, and I guess it will be somewhere around ninth or 10th grade. Since that we were before Game of Thrones came, we were fans of Power Rangers, like I said. So with that in mind, I wrote some series called Gods of the World in that
Okay.
190 pages notebook that school used to give. So I
Oh,
wrote around.
nice.
I actually wrote two parts for it, around 400 pages, and unfortunately, it was so childish that I didn't see. It didn't got released into public. I used to share it with my English teacher, and I asked her to edit that out, etc. So that as far as novel, that was my first successful novel, I would say, as far as I'm concerned. And then after like 12th standard or something, or college first year, I wrote my first Tamil essay, which again was some a memory lane, of our school days, etc. So that's how I decided writing, and those were my first pieces.
Interesting that you spoke about Power Rangers because I myself am a very big fan, especially the Mighty Morphin series. But more importantly, I know at least two more people who've written their own fan fiction related to Power Rangers.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Interesting.
a very nostalgic day, man. Actually, I am very, these generation kids, they don't have anything to. To be honest, they don't have anything. All they do is they play PUBG, and they're not. They miss these things. We had everything, man. We had Power Rangers, Shaktiman, to say.
Oh, Shaktiman, yeah.
Yeah, so those kind of day, and thankfully I was born in that generation, so that all those things made me what I am today, and I'm grateful for it.
Definitely. That is so true.
Yeah.
And coming to your poems, do you have any poem with you right now which you can probably recite to us?
Yeah, I have one minute, hold on.
Love to listen to it.
Can you please hold on a minute, let me get that book. Sorry.
Sure, sure. No problem, no problem at all. In the meantime, for everyone who is here, we are talking to Arvind right now. He's a poet, a lyricist, and a published author now. Uh, he has written his first book, which is a short story. And if you have any questions as an author, as a reader, or just a general question, feel free to put that in the Q&A section at the bottom. And we will get to all those questions when we discuss the audience Q&A.
Okay, here I am. Wait one minute. Yep. So this is the book, it's actually an anthology, Somnia of
Okay,
the Sleepless. This book is about insomnia. It deals with the topic of insomnia. So
okay,
my poem is titled Star Sentinel.
Okay.
I have compared myself to the the stars that acts as a watchful protector over the moon and the sea around it. So let
Sounds
me
interesting.
yeah. So let me read it out. The waves and I are akin, ever alone and awake. Never a sun or a moon we miss. The misty air here are whispers and musings. The misty hair are messenger to the moon, sharing the tales. We, the star's sentinel, for the stars so far alone, missing its mother moon, unaware, forgetting stars, shining over this dark world. Wave sanctum, ocean's lap, my sanctum, darkness lamp. We heed the voyages in need of inspiration, musing over the valorous voyages and sharing them with tomorrow's sun. For the shores we soar to explore dark horizon. Restless nights draw us back for flesh to be fed upon. But we heave our sorrows to the silence, to grow a river, to inspire lives. Waves and I wander, wonder lullabies we sing, kissing sleep and love to millions so deep, pacified by tiptoeing on pages on ripples, like shooting stars over dark skies. Waves and I, akin, are poetry too. Sleep asleep, words awake, hoping the horizon to be touched.
Nice. I liked how you compared. So, a lot of poems that I hear these days talk mostly about feelings, which you also did, but you use a personification element of the sun, the moon, the stars, which is
Yeah.
something that I liked a lot.
Yeah, basically, both in English and Tamil, I prefer to write in metaphor. I use lot of metaphors in my,
Hmm.
all my work because it is heavily inspired by Tamil lyricist called Na Muthukumar. In his
Okay.
uh, lyrics, he used lots of metaphors, unlike other lyricists, and his words are very simple. Yet it's very it has a lot of writers like us are very inspired by his works. So basically, you can say I pick part of every personality then like, and I would like their touch to be reflected in my work, and also give my own touch to it. That's how basically I work.
That's a very nice way of putting it. I really like how you put it, saying that you'd like everybody's personality to reflect in your work. It's a very nice way of thinking.
Thank you.
Okay, so you already alluded to this part a little bit, but let's go deeper into how was your writing journey and how did it start and how has it been so far?
Like I said, it was the eighth grade. I started writing
Hmm.
English poem. I guess it went on till my 12th standard. Whenever there were any Independence Day, etc., like in the school celebration, I was the guy
Hmm.
called upon to recite a poem in front of my class. Like
Okay,
I was kind of like everyone. Like I was like kind of the star of the class to say, not to
right.
boast. When we were child, we used to enjoy these kind of things. When we feel, you know, when we feel respected, kind of thing. So it was like 8th or 12th standard. I wrote only in English, and then interestingly, during my 10th standard, uh, to say a little bit of Tamil journey. During my 10th standard, to be honest, I was really poor at my own mother tongue Tamil. I used to
Hmm.
fail at it. I didn't know how
Okay.
to read it. I didn't know how to write it. So thanks to my Tamil teacher, she taught me. She made me learn Tamil, and just for the sake of passing 10th standard because maths was another difficult subject for me, and also to
Okay.
add to that list, Tamil also joined the list. So before
Right.
passing in the exam, I learned Tamil, but during the process, I fell in love with Tamil. I fell in love with Tamil, and I explored a lot of works, and also then only I started, putting together words that I got in Tamil. And when I showed my first Tamil essay I sent my first essay to my Tamil teacher, and she called me, and she just spoke how much growth I have seen since the 10th standard. She just spoke for about 20 minutes or so, explaining like my flow is very good, and you are not the kid who was trying to read the one word. Also, I'm very proud and of my journey because now also just to you know from my bit of experience, I would say that all the aspiring writers like me, they should know one thing. Nobody in life would teach you things.
You're right.
No one will do it. Some might be interested, but they may not have the time, and some might be very egoistic, and they may not teach you things. Uh, Everything that I've done until this moment, it's 100% my effort. And thanks to all the people who came into my life and taught me little things. So that's as far as Tamil side is concerned. Then currently I'm doing lyrics work. I'm penning lyrics for short films, like everything in Tamil. And latest, I have like everybody else know, I have written Cross a Bear. That's my after lots of failed projects. This one is the most successful. So I hope that I'm getting good comments from those who read until now. I'm really like I'm proud of what I have become, and I hope that this might be that I might be a little bit of inspiration to those who see it. So
I agree.
this concludes my writing journey so far, and hope there will be more of you know like I will have more of many opportunities, and I hope I learn a lot from it.
That's very interesting. So you went from not being able to read a single word in Tamil to writing poems and songs and essays in Tamil. So that must have been an extraordinary journey for you. And I'm sure even your family must have seen that tremendous growth.
Yeah. They were so proud, man. I still remember the days where they used to give us all the assignment notebooks home to get signed
Right.
by parents, and I still remember my mother and my sister. We used to sit together, and we used to read. We used to read out the Tamil phrases that I have written because it would be full of spelling mistake, and we used to laugh at it. So, but now they say that your words are very nice and it's also very decent. So that's I'm very happy that I'm able to do this much of work.
Nice. Good to hear. So, okay, now let's move on to the book itself. Uh, I want to know where you got the idea for this story, for the inspiration for this story, because at least in my lifetime so far, I have read very few books where you show the perspective of, for lack of a better word, the bad guy. So, where did you get that inspiration? Where did you decide the story, and how did you go about it?
There are actually two answers for that. First one is, like I said, uh, I heard one of the lyricist Namuttukumar's song. The song goes like தெய்வம் வாழ்வது இங்கே தெய்வம் வாழ்வது இங்கே தவறுகளை உணரும் மனிதன் நெஞ்சில், which translates to God lives in the heart of the man who is realizing his mistakes. That line
Okay,
is very simple, It doesn't have any fancy words attached or any metaphors, but it had a so profound effect to me. And another thing that inspired me the most is that I came across a video on YouTube, and thankfully, this is the first time YouTube algorithm worked to my benefit, to be honest. And, there I got a suggestion, like a video. If I reveal the content,
Okay.
I guess it would be a spoiler. But actually, when I had the theme in mind, I was skeptical about. I didn't know whether it would work in real life or whether to accept it. And then this video, it's a real video. I would like to be, I like to share that video later after this interview. And it's, it's a real story. And
Hmm.
that video exactly, it then I got confident that okay, my team is correct. It's happening in the real world. So these two pieces helped me, decide upon the theme and convince me to go on with it. And also I got the idea because uh, I just wanted to get the theme across to the readers that we definitely need love in this world, man. Like we need on an individual level, like I'm damn sure nothing is going to change in this world. Good things will happen and bad things will also happen, but what you do with your life, like if you change your perception about the world becomes beautiful to you. And that's, I
True.
guess that's enough for you. So that's why I wanted to get this theme across to the audience. I want to say this particular theme about forgiveness. I was like, I was very interested. Actually, I was very interested with this concept of forgiveness, because like it's the this ultimate strength, bro. It's like
Hmm.
to see, to look in the eyes of a wrongdoer and to heartfully like, I have forgiven in you. That's I guess that's the biggest strength anyone can achieve. And also yeah, I would have it for the later discussions. So yeah, this is where this is how I got inspired to write this book.
Nice. And I think Sanju has something on this context. Simple lines are sometimes deep and meaningful. Truly, even I have seen that in a lot of cases, just simple, plain, you write one line and it has a very strong, profound effect on you.
Yes,
True.
yes.
Brilliant. So, okay, now, what was the hardest part for you to write? I mean, actually, to be honest, I actually wanted to allude to certain parts of the book, but I decided not to do that because that would have been sort of a spoiler. So I'll just revert to, asking you a more simplistic version of my question. What was the hardest part for you to write?
Hardest part is definitely the climax, because
Yes.
like I guess I took around 27th September was the day when I finalized the plot, and I guess I finished the final draft in around second week of January or something. And the climax was very difficult. Why? Because I had this amazing journey. Nine chapters of the book came off excellently well, and
Mm-hmm.
the 10th chapter is where everything comes to a full circle. I just don't
Yes.
want the whole book to, fall short, because would, everybody would remember the starting of a movie or a book, and also they would remember the ending of the book. So
Correct.
the ending decides how much an emotional impact is created to the audience, and how effectively my team is gets carried over to the readers. So, to be honest, I completed the 9 chapters, and I intentionally put off writing for another 1 week. And in that 1 week's time, I like I explored like the climax part of it, how I can write it, how I can show it. And 1 week time went just for the deciding of the scene itself, how the scene would play out. like, can I keep it more on the descriptive side of things, or can I, I can add a lot of dialogue kind of thing. And after 1 week only, I sat down to write. And first, I had this particular scene in mind. I started writing, but fortunately, it came up something very different than what I imagined. At the start. And well, I took a step back and went through all the lines. I was amazed at
Mhm.
how this thing wrapped in the end. So many writers like me would also agree to this particular thing, because climax is very important for a book. It
Yes,
decides,
yes.
no matter what you do in the starting or the 50% midpoint, the ending is a book. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think, and the climax of yours to your book was also very emotional and very heavy. So I was wondering how you wrote it, because expressing emotions of the protagonist, our hero, and the other victims, I would say, uh, for lack of a better term, was also very, it felt very real. And yeah, if I had to write a piece like that, I would have had a very tough time writing it.
Yeah, actually, I owe it to my, I am more of a visual guy. I do read a lot of books, but when you weigh, books and videos, books and movies, movie scale would like be a bit higher than the books. So that's why I imagined the book as a movie itself, like as if I was as if like I was directing a movie. I acted out. I first wrote the dialogues, and then I acted out in front of a mirror to check whether
Oh,
how the, yeah. It was like
interesting.
I say, two birds with one stone. I wrote a book and also I directed a movie. That's how as far as I cross a bear, that's how it proceeded. I acted out each and every scene. I acted out dialogues. Uh, this helped me, visualize and make it easier for the readers.
I think I could see it in your work as well, because as the story is progressing, I could actually visualize everything happening in my head like a movie.
Yeah, actually, I'm very, I want simple lines. I want to use simple descriptions, because I have read many books. They go, they go hard on descriptions. They use fancy words. At the end of it, I feel just irritated to read it, because at the end of, if while some like some authors just to they show off their Shakespeare side of their work. And like at the end of the day, you need readers to understand what you're trying to say. You
Correct.
need readers to visualize things. That's like I do feel difficulty in. I don't know whether it's problem with me or the book. Where some books, they go very hard on the vocabulary, and I don't
True.
understand anything, which also decreases decrease the strength of the story. There are some books
Yes.
which are widely celebrated and they are widely acknowledged in the critical community. So I guess I pick up that book because it has good reviews, got many awards. So I sit down to read, and it has very complex vocabulary. So
Oh, yes, yes.
I don't get what playing out, what they're trying to say. So I guess this
Totally.
is one of a friendly suggestion to my writer buddies. Please keep your writing simple. You have many things to explore just with simple vocabulary, man. You can play a lot of things with just simple words and simple scenes. Simplicity is always the best in my term.
I completely agree with that. In fact, the books that I have found most engaging are books with a very simple language. Definitely. I
Yeah,
can totally agree with you on that one.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So before I move to the Q&A section, I have one more question. Uh, Actually, I have a couple more questions.
Sure.
So tell me, I know it's a very short story, 60 pages, not a lot. But did you face a writer's block while you were writing this story? And if you did, how did you fix it?
Yeah, definitely. I would say I faced writer's block. It happens with, in every project that I do. Whenever, a new project comes to me, to be honest,
Hmm.
I feel afraid. I need to give quality content to the music director. I need to give quality content to the readers. So
Right,
first I feel afraid. So particularly for the crossover, I had some problems with, I had trouble since my first book. I had trouble managing the description side of things and also the dialogue side of things.
right. Okay, yes,
If 50 pages runs full of description, it's not a short story, it's just a thesis, and theses are boring.
right.
And I just wanted to handle it. And uh, I had a very tough time in that cursor blinking at you, that blank page. It's very irritating for an author. And only if there were days when only I wrote only 2 lines for like around 3 days. For 2 lines, I took some 3 days on this. That. And what I did is, unlike I would listen to instrumental music, you know, like the piano kind of thing, the strings, because and I just used to vibe to that feeling. If I want to write, emotional scene, I would just play some emotional instrumental music, and I would just close my eyes and try to, bring that feeling into me. So
Right.
that was one of the thing I did. And another thing is that, thanks to my dad, he used to have this kind of technique to, whenever he finds some difficult piece of work, or when he's blocked, like he just switch off whatever is doing, he moves on, and then come back to it later. That's what I did,
Okay.
and it worked wonders for me. I was I used to bang my head against a wall without getting a line. I used to trouble myself. There were actually there were many nights where I used to be awake till 1:30 or 2 a.m. in the morning without getting a line.
Hmm.
So so I also tried, if some line is not coming and if I don't feel like writing, I just shut down the computer, move on to other work, and after some days or two, I might come back to it. And that was the thing. And then I saw episodes from that documentary series Planet Earth, uh, just
Okay.
just to bring that philosophical mindset into me. The world around you is so big, all like so these are things that I did just to widen my imagination, and also to bring in that the feeling inside me. The other thing is that, uh, writer's block may also be because of some the previous scene that you have written, or there might be some
Hmm.
problems in your plot. That might also add to your writer's block.
Correct.
Yes, I faced writer's block, and these were the things that I did to come out of it.
Interesting. So, I think my key takeaway here is because I also write a couple of articles, not a story. I'm not an author, but I write a couple of articles, and every time I face a so-called block, I also just I leave my laptop on the side. I go, I walk around, and then I come back, and then yeah, I get some ideas. Okay, I start writing again. So I think I
Yes.
can totally relate to what you were saying here.
yes, and also instead of like I used to read, uh, short poems on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
because as you read things, automatic the flow comes to you, and I
Correct.
and like I picked up some book, and I can feel the flow inside me. If I read some book,
Right.
the next day I would write some 4 or 5 poems. But when due to our work schedule, etc., uh, when we don't have the reading for the week, I would say that the habit of read as much as books you can possibly read every genre, not only a particular genre in which you are writing. Read everything from
Correct.
philosophical, everything, fiction, non-fiction. That's the thing that I would suggest.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So the more exposure you get, the better ideas you have. Agreed. Okay, so let me move on to some audience questions. I'm sorry, I'm seeing something.
No, just yeah, I don't see any questions so far, just chat.
Okay. So I think we have two questions. One was in the chat, and I noted it down so that I do not forget it. And
Okay.
that is, what inspired you to publish your writing?
Inspiration is that basically I love philosophy. I love talking about philosophy. So I had this theme of forgiveness in mind, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to explore on the topic. Uh, so that two things that I just shared in the previous question, those uh, those made me want to share this theme to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So this made me to publish this story, because I think it has a good philosophical meaning to it, and I hope people can learn a thing or two from it, and that's in the main inspiration to share this piece of content with
Mm-hmm.
the readers.
I agree. And while we are on that topic, I would also definitely recommend reading this book. It is short, it is very interesting to read something from a very different perspective, which is what I like the most here. Okay, another question. Okay, I have a couple more questions. So, one question I have is, are you looking at writing a bigger piece?
Yes, I would definitely be happy about writing a bigger piece. I would also like, actually, the Crosser Bear was branch of something else that I had in mind. I
Okay,
thought about writing 8-part anthology series dealing with human emotions, but set
okay,
in some futuristic world, just like the Black Mirror kind of thing going
okay.
on. And while we were discussing that piece of content, I thought, why not we try this in a simpler terms? So there came the crosser bear idea. So yeah, I would definitely, I want to write a bigger piece. Like I said, I don't limit myself to a particular type of content. I will write only poems. I would write only short stories. No, I
Right.
want to explore everything. I have written screenplays. I've directed a short film, and so I would definitely be happy about writing a novel, and hopefully, hopefully I succeed at it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure you will succeed because the Cross-Eye Bear had a lot, uh, there was a lot in those 60 pages that you wrote. And reading something like that in a futuristic setting, I would like to see how it turns out.
Yeah. Actually, fun fact is that I planned crossover just for 25 pages or something. Yeah, that's initially had like okay, we can have 25, 30 pages,
Okay.
and luckily thanks to Skylar, my protagonist of the story, he stretched the story, and he made the story beautiful for him, and it was amazing 6 months journey. And also I thank COVID for making this possible, because I can't imagine having college and coming back to home after 7. Like everything happened by chance,
Yeah.
and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, I think COVID did a great job, at least when it comes to the book community. So many books I got to read, so many new authors came into light.
Yeah, and on the to touch the topic of new authors, I'm really glad about this rise in social media,
Ah,
because it has liberalized the platform. Like some 5-10 years ago, all we used to know is the big names in the industry, but now everyone who has got the flight to write and interest to share, to tell stories to the world, they now trying to write pieces. They are releasing it as an ebook on the Amazon, and
mhm.
I'm really glad to see this amazing change in this community. And also
Yes,
many people are now cultivating they have a newfound interest to start reading again, and I'm glad that
yes,
this is happening.
definitely, definitely. Even I have seen that increase. Okay, we have only 10 minutes left, so I'll have to rush the rest of the questions. The next question I have is, do you think as an author it is important to have a message in your book? That's a very interesting question.
Yeah, that's a great question actually. And uh, message, no, because not always. If you are good at sharing good message to the readers, then yeah, you need messages. But also we need the readers.
Okay, I think we've lost Arvind. I hope everybody is able to hear me.
Yeah, sorry, my internet
Yeah.
just
Oh, okay. I thought it was my internet.
no, oh, my fault. Yeah, yeah, like I was saying, we do have philosophical books from Paulo Coelho, and also
Yes,
we have books like Durjay Datta. So yeah, you don't need necessary, like, if every book in the world is coming out with a message, a philosophical thing. No, it doesn't make no readers would enjoy it. Like, they also need to learn few things, and also they need some a pleasure read of the thought.
correct.
So if you are good at so to summarize summarize the answer, if you are good at giving useful message, philosophical message to the readers, then you go on. Or you can also, if you apply it to if you're great at comedy, or if you're great at in the romance genre, you can have but at the end of the day, the book should be pleasure to read. That's what the book should be useful to the readers. Message or no message, it should be a quality book.
Agree completely. Okay, the next question is, did watching films help you in your writing?
Yeah, definitely, because like I said, I'm a visual guy, and
Hmm.
I want to allude to a particular series called This Is Us. It's a
Okay,
fantastic TV show. I love it a lot because it talks about the family bonding kind of thing, and it helped me create my characters for this story. Like, because but like I got some inspiration from that series, and also film like visual film has all the visual elements, and film is easy to understand when compared to book, because the actors are playing out their scenes. It is right in front of you, and that's why I thought, that's why I handled the screenplay kind of approach to the crossover. I didn't have I didn't write this as a novel, but as a more of a screenplay kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
uh, and films also has this capacity, has the ability to make you very emotional, and hence that I feed off of on that emotional thing that the film leaves me. um, they they impact you more than books do.
Yes.
Yeah, since I am a visual guy, hence films help me a lot in writing. So there, that's your answer.
Nice. That's a good answer, I would say, and a very good question too. I have one question in the comments from Hariharan. Is it necessary to follow a stepwise or a standard mode of having three parts to write any story?
Yeah, actually, I would say
Interesting.
it is. Yeah, it is, like you need both. First,
Mm-hmm.
I also to say I'm not a big fan of three-act structure, but
Mm-hmm.
I use that to plot my the skeleton for my story. And
Okay.
then later on, I lot of after lot of YouTube videos, a lot of books, and lot of interviews, I settled upon this three act structure to build upon the basics of my story. Then it was more of this and that. There were some scenes that I actually imagined to be a particular way, but
Mm-hmm.
during the writing process, it was totally different than what I imagined. So
Right.
there's nothing called stepwise approach. You do what works best for you. At the end of the day, that's what
Correct.
necessary. You
Yeah.
need to come up with the content, and you do anything to in order to achieve your output. I think that's what important for me. And to like a friendly suggestion, we can try Anatomy of a Story by John Truby. That's a very
Okay.
great about writing a screenplay for a movie, and also it would help you other writers, because the author deals about every aspect that you need in a novel or a film. So that book helped me a lot in deciding upon the elements of the story, and I learned a
Right.
lot from that particular book. Since this is my first venture into like a full a novel kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. I think what you said about do what works best for you. I think that's the right advice you can give to anybody.
Yes. Yeah, and also if you do anything that can make you finish the work. Never leave anything unfinished. Never leave anything
Yes.
unfinished. Uh, so I guess there's your answer to that question, and it was
Perfect.
helpful. I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, Hariharan says thank you. Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are at the end of our interview now. Before we break off, I think I'll just have one question for you, and that is there are a couple of budding authors also in this among our audience today. So, what advice would you give them? I think one advice that you alluded to in your last question was if you start something, don't finish it, and I really like that. What
Yeah,
else can you tell us?
like rather than advice, I would say a friendly suggestion.
Hmm.
First, I guess never limit yourself. You can do anything if you set your mind to it.
Right.
And like you explore everything. As a writer, it is very, very important for you to keep your eyes open, your ears open, because every time I like to travel alone. So whenever I commuting by train or bus, I would some song would be playing in my earphones, and also I would be looking at each and every faces outside my window. Like I would question the person in front of me. I would question what story he might have in his life and where he might be headed to. I would like always have this thought process going inside your head. You like you never know when you will land upon the next big thing in the world. Like always
True.
imagine it and keep writing. Uh, like every day I take a paper and pen, and even though if I don't feel like writing, I just scribble. I just scribble some rubbish, and if I like it, I will document it, or if I don't, I just crash it and put in dustbin. It doesn't matter. You just need to keep on writing that what necessary. And for a writer, like I told you, read many books, read everything,
Yes.
like read fiction, non-fiction, anything that you can get your hands on. uh, so I guess that's the suggestion I can give. And that's also since I'm also learning, I'm very happy to see other authors like me, and also I'm very happy to learn from them. And I would take the best thing out from them, and I use in my writing.
Yes. I completely agree. Awesome. Okay, I guess we don't have any more audience questions as well. So, on that note, we can close this session for today. Thanks a lot, Arvind, for joining, for giving us your time, taking us down that memory lane of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the I really enjoyed having this conversation with you.
Yeah, I'm also really grateful to have this conversation. And like I said, I want at least a person to be inspired from my works, because that's what all writers would look for. At least
Right,
they want like authentic comments about their work.
correct.
And have a great day. And I read a lot. And I also again like to thank the Bookers Terry and Manav for this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, your reviews are very authentic, and I learned what to correct my like I learned what went wrong in this project, and so I would correct those in my next project. And really glad for your time, and thank you the audience for the wonderful questions.
Yep, thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Arvind. Great talking to you. Bye.